Drink oil, dun 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 dun. Break lights, dun dun dun. Kill Starchild, dun dun dun. Oh hell yeah, dun dun. What?
What? What?
Dun what? What?
What?
Oh, okay.
What?
Now you've ruined it.
Now listen here.
You've ruined the timing.
What?
What is even the point with you, Mac? I swear.
What?
Hello, Mammoth, everybody. Welcome back to the latest edition of the slowest growing Battlebots podcast in all of creation. I am your never popular host, Jack Finney, and across from me on the other side of the world is the man who acts as the bridge between the Ripperoni fans and the Nick Gage fan club all over the world, Mr. Makon, Crayley the Mac. How are you doing today, Mac?
Zach, I am about to kick your ass. I'm gonna stomp you in the corner, stuff a mud hole in you, and walk it dry. Oh, hell yeah!
Quite the episode that we had today, eh, Mac?
Yep, it was quite an episode. We had some highs, we had some lows, we had Riptide. It was all around a bunch of stuff.
We had Riptide.
We did indeed have Riptide. But we did have. You were about to say?
Yeah, what we really had in all of this was, on paper, a stacked card with some really good fights lined up and an absolutely epic main event. And yeah, overall, I would say that this episode was definitely one that managed to deliver. Would you, Mac?
Yeah, honestly, like, for the most part, yeah. Like, there were two fights I would say were bad, but, like, for the most part, like, the episode was good. It was pretty clean. Clean all around.
It had some very, very high highs as well.
Oh, of course. And we were kicking off with one of those highs. We have Starchild
yes.
versus Huge.
Yep, the Kaiju Big Batel. Yep, here we go. The what many people would say is the Spider-Man meme fight of the show, as the two big boys with the big wheels and the big swinging weapons go one-on-one and lock horns in the Battle of the Monsters. And you know what, Mac? This was a incredibly entertaining fight.
It was. Like, it was a one-sided fight pretty much the entire time, but goddamn was it a fun beatdown it was.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Huge has looked absolutely unstoppable so far this season, easily winning each of its matches and making a case for itself as one of the top seeds in the competition. And Starchild has unfortunately had the complete opposite run of luck, as it has not managed to successfully win any of its battles and has unfortunately taken some nasty punishment. A trend that was, unfortunately for them, not going to change in this fight, as you know, the Starchild team and Brandon Zielinski fought valiantly in this fight in an attempt to take on Huge, but it didn't quite work out. This was a mauling.
It was very early on they lost the balance for their weapon, and as a result they weren't able to even spin up the weapon. Like, it was bouncing off the floor too much.
Yeah, exactly, because without that little balancing piece of plastic to keep the weapon blade from hitting the floor, Starchild could not make any effective use of its weapon without, slamming its own weapon into the floor and causing itself damage, and that just gave Huge free reign to mollywomp it all over the box. Like, it was absolutely brutal. What we saw was essentially, how can I put this? It was like watching Undertaker versus Mankind in Hell in a Cell, or watching King Arthur kill the Black Knight in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, just chopping its limbs off.
I mean, at least with the first one, like, Mick Foley, like, it still got up. Like, he was still trying to fight. Whereas Starchild Starchild went floppy after a little bit.
Now, to be fair, let's give Starchild credit where it's due. It did not die, and it was still attempting to engage and attack. It was determined to not go quietly. And to their credit, they made it all the way to the bell.
Yeah.
Granted, they were like 5 seconds away from getting counted out when the fight stopped.
Oh, yeah, they were done.
Credit where it's due. Yeah, credit where it's due. They hung in all the way, and even as it was getting murdered to death, it just did not die, and that says a lot for the robustness of Starchild.
Yeah, true, true. They had the tenacity to go all the way, even if at the literal end they were straight up done. Like, they were on their side. They were not going anywhere.
Yeah, wheels absolutely wrecked, weapon absolutely wrecked, massive gashes torn in the body of the machine.
Yep, they broke the fucking lights.
But still showing faint signs of life as well, so that says a lot for how robust that machine is to take 3 minutes of non-stop ass-kicking from Huge and not die.
Exactly.
So it's like massive shout out to the team and Brandon Zielinski and everybody else on his team. You built a hell of a machine, and it really is such a shame to see the robot unfortunately not meet expectations. But, you know, I'm really hoping to see them come back in the future.
I mean, yeah, because, like, it was a good attempt. It was a good, like, attempt to, you know, break out of the current, like, mold of the series. Like, with, like, what robots we have. Like, it didn't work out, which is unfortunate, but look, sometimes you have to take a stab in the dark, and it didn't work out this time, but maybe it'll work out next time. So keep being creative. And it is
a shame, because like I said, I feel bad for Brandon, because he looked so crestfallen at the end of the fight, just seeing how badly his machine got destroyed.
He did,
like,
yeah.
It held on until the end, but yeah, it was a smoking heap of mostly destroyed machinery at that point. So I felt bad for him and his team, but you know, like I said, we got an incredibly entertaining fight out of it, and I really hope that they'll come back in the future and continue to entertain us, because like I have enjoyed seeing Starchild in action, and I loved P1, as you know.
Yep.
And you know, Brandon's team is awesome. So you know, shout out to them.
Yeah, big fan of them.
Jonathan Schultz absolutely ruled in the post-fight interview as well. He's done amazingly this season with Huge. Like, Huge is completely dialed in. We've not seen it look this dominant since its very first season. Before Ice Wave ripped it in half, anyway.
Yeah, and now it goes into the tournament undefeated.
Yeah. I don't think it will get one of the top 4 seeds, but it's definitely getting a top 8 seed.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because of the you know, strength of schedule compared to some of the other machines.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be seeded very highly, and it's going to have a good hypothetical route in for a deep run into the tournament. So, shout out to them. I cannot wait to see what they bring us in the tournament.
Oh hell yeah! It should be some good stuff. I'm hoping for some strong fucking fights.
Absolutely. Our next fight of the evening was Ominous versus Shatter, and it has been a rough season for Shatter. The real question of this match was really whether or not they could go out on a bang rather than a whimper, and because Ominous hasn't performed the most impressive. I love the concept of Ominous. You know, I love Omni Wheels on machines, and so like seeing another Omni Wheel versus Omni Wheel matchup, that was pretty cool. But yeah, not a lot of people would make a big case for Ominous making it into the tournament.
Yeah. But luckily for Shatter, they made Ominous feel the bang, because Shatter did all it could. Yeah. It pierced it so many times.
Shatter did a great job in this fight, managing to land some precise blows, like landing big hits on Ominous, like ripping an entire panel off of it with an axe blow, boxing it in where and when it could. They were very cautious when they were fighting in the center of the arena, doing their best to corral Ominous back to the corner so that they could have free reign with the hammer. And unfortunately for Shatter, it seemed to start suffering from mobility issues after a while, which seemed to be a common theme with all of the Omni-wheeled robots in this episode, as we'll get to later on as well, won't we?
Yeah.
Ultimately, the fight went to a decision, and Shatter managed to score a good unanimous decision. I don't think they'll be getting into the tournament, but they get to go out with their heads held high. There is still a chance for them to get in, but you know, it's this may be a learning season for them, and hopefully they can come back and improve next time. Ominous, like I said, I don't see it getting into the tournament, but you know, it was a good learning experience for them, considering that, you know, this was Ominous that was built for 2020, 2021,
True.
And you know, it essentially sat in a crate for a year because they couldn't get the visa in order to be able to get over and actually compete.
Yeah, like I mean, hopefully we see bigger improvements from the like both teams next season. Because I've always been a big fan of Shatter. Like, and it's heartbreaking when you see them like not like perform as well as you know they can. So hopefully they can figure out whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully they can figure out whatever bugs like they've been plagued with like the past few years and like have a great sowing next season.
Yeah, and I hope Ominous comes back with some big improvements as well, because like I said, it's a year out of date at this point, so who knows? Maybe it will. Maybe it can come back and show us something next time after some updating.
Yeah,
I can see the team being brought back.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Okay.
But other than that, there's not really much else to say about this fight. Good for Shatter for finally getting a win, so hats off to them.
Exactly.
With that, we move on to Triton versus Horizon. We started out the episode with the big boys. Now it's time for the long boys.
Oh god, and this match was not that long. I mean, it was long enough.
Yep. Triton seemed to be having some issues with its weapon throughout this fight. Because it seemed to be like stopping and starting from what I saw. It didn't quite have as much bite as it had in other fights, and Horizon ended up managing to get a really good sniper shot on Triton's wheels at one point as well. But ultimately, Triton managed to hang in there, get a few good hits in on Horizon, and ultimately it seemed like both of them were having some major mobility issues later on, but crab walking was enough to get Triton the nod when the count-out started.
Yep.
It was a match.
It happened. It existed. I like Horizon. I like Triton. They can be good robots.
That said, I don't see either of them getting into the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, neither of them are getting in.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, no offense to either of them, of course, but yeah, it's like, I don't think either of those two machines has shown up enough throughout this season to justify a tournament spot.
Yeah, exactly.
Even at 2-2 for Triton.
Oh, good.
I feel like this was the year that Triton needed. Yeah.
Who did it beat?
Remember, Triton won its previous match against Glitch.
Oh! I completely forgot that happened.
It was a good win for Triton as well.
Okay, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, I don't really see Triton getting into the tournament. I feel like this was where a year where they had to get used to Triton after coming off of Deep Six. And I think Triton will show up much stronger next time, but of course by then Tombstone looks like it will be back. So
I mean, look, they could be a tag team.
Triton Stone?
Triton, yeah. I mean,
Tri-Stone.
oh god, it's not even like just them like fighting alongside each other. It's like you have like Triton on top of Tombstone. It's just a 2-tower fucking Tombstone.
So it's a fusion dance of the two.
Basically, yeah.
Tombstone.
Oh, like Mechasiva, basically. Like just one like stack on stacks.
That is quite the sobering thought.
That would actually kind of rule. Actually, that would kind of be an interesting idea for like an actual like just basic robot.
I swear, one of these days we'll have to like come up with an actual listing of potential tag teams.
Yeah, honestly, that would be fun. Like if they announce like a tag team thing, like that would be a fun exercise to do. But yeah,
like, remember the Hyperblaze tag team name? That was a pretty awesome one.
What was the one from last week? It was like
I don't remember.
It was Riptide and someone, I think.
I do not remember.
Well,
I do remember I came up with one for. I do remember I came up with the obvious portmanteau for Hypershock and Claw Viper Shock.
Oh hell yeah!
Then again, Claw Viper and Copperhead would probably be a good tag team because they're both snake themed.
Yeah, true. Like honestly, yeah, you just have to.
Actually.
Like there are two fucking. Actually, no, yeah, there are three thoughts of process for like tag teams. One if like the gimmicks work together. Two if like the like actual robots like sort of mess well, like just sort of function wise. Mm-hmm. Or three like if the team name sounds good. Like those are the three.
Yeah.
But yes, that fight that fight was so mid that we ended up talking about tag teams instead.
Yeah, we like the teams. We hope they both show up again next year. Like, Horizon has won me over as a concept at this point, and I hope they can make that work at £250, because this was a rookie season for them. And you know what? Shout out to them for making the design work as well as they have, considering it was a scaled-up beetle weight from what I remember.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah.
So, yeah. Shout out to both teams. I don't see either of them getting into the tournament, but you know what? Good rookie seasons for both of these particular robots. I know Triton's been around for a while as Deep Six, but you know, good for them for managing to make this work as a horizontal.
Good attempt. Up next, Bloodsport versus Beta. I did it.
Yes.
I did it!
Oh boy. Yes. Proud of you. He's finally learning, everybody.
Yes, I did it. Okay, so Beta. See, that was intentional. Yeah, so Beta.
I know.
Yeah.
I could see that coming from a mile away, Mac.
But you know who didn't see anything coming from a mile away? Bloodsport, because it had its eye fucking gouged out despite.
Oh, okay, that was a good one. Well done.
Yes.
Yes. This was a very hyped matchup. Beta finally getting to come in and face the type of robot it's explicitly designed to be able to fight, after its previous history with robots like Tombstone as well. Coming in, sporting its Spatulax configuration as well, obviously because they don't want to destroy the big, massive hammer before the actual tournament itself. There were some rumblings in the lead-up about how John basically gave up the fight against Black Dragon before it even started by coming in with the ugly armor configuration and giving up without too much of a resistance in order to basically make sure Beta wouldn't hypothetically be destroyed before the tournament itself. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about that idea, but yeah, there were some rumblings about that leading in. And this was a big opportunity for Bloodsport as well. Bloodsport, of course, 2-on-1 coming into this, much like Beta themselves. Potentially getting a very, very high seeding out of this if they win. And yeah, Beta coming in, sporting its Spatulax configuration in order to make sure not to... I know that I'm repeating myself here, but making sure that it didn't lose its big hammer before the actual tournament. And this was an absolute driving clinic.
It was.
But before we get to that, I just want to shout out Bloodsport here for having that telemetry console. That was awesome. Because that's the best. No, I'm not going to be mean to Bloodsport, but that's one of the things about them I can praise in this fight, having that telemetry console, because that's awesome. Other than that, this was a masterclass in precision driving and just all around bullying across the box by John Reed as he just slammed Bloodsport all over the place. This fight was not competitive at all.
It was.
Beta went to town on Bloodsport in this one, landing some good solid hits with the hammer. It didn't manage to break the weapon or anything, although, as you said, Mac, late in the fight, it did manage to essentially gouge out Bloodsport's eye off of its weapon pod.
It did.
And just, yeah, dominating it all over the box, slamming it into the screws, slamming it all the way up onto the upper deck at one point as well. John is just such a fantastic driver. Bloodsport's only hope against Beta in this would have been if they could have gotten around to the back, because obviously Beta's pyramid setup is just so fit.
Like, it was either get around to the... it was either get around to the back or, like, somehow knock out its drive, like, with a big hit. And, like, it did manage to pop, Beta back, like, with a hit, like, around the middle of the match, but it was not enough to, like, stop Beta at all.
Yeah, even then, it was, like, a very small bump in the road where it briefly went up into the air for, like, a split second, immediately came back down and continued its attack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the only way that Bloodsport was going to win was if it managed to get around to the back of Beta so that they could get at the sensitive components. And John is just such a fantastic driver, as you can expect from his 25 plus years of experience of driving the machines at this point. There was no way that was going to happen. And like we said earlier, Beta is optimized for this type of fight as well. Went to a decision. Absolutely unanimous victory for John. And it was just great seeing Beta finally, get into the full swing of things, pun intended.
Yep.
And just really showcase how brilliant a build it actually is. So props to John Reed, the foremost combat robot pilot in the UK, and I cannot wait to see how it fares in the tournament.
The man is so ready to fucking go in this tournament.
Absolutely, and he had a great post-fight interview as well. Like you could see how happy he was just to have Beta finally performing exactly as he wants it to.
Exactly, he is ready to beat up some people.
Could we see him possibly bring home the giant nut?
I mean, it's possible.
It's a long shot.
It depends on who he's against.
It's a long shot, but that's not a reflection on John and Beta. It's just, a testament to how strong the competition is this year. Because there are like 10 different robots I could see hypothetically bringing home the title.
Yeah,
is Beta one of them? Honestly, yes, I think it is. I think it has a shot. It's going to depend on who it faces, but I think John could hypothetically outdrive anyone, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't, we'll have to wait until next week to find out who it's going to be up against, but yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see how they perform in this tournament.
Oh yeah, next week is going to be so cool, man. Just finally getting to clap eyes on the full bracket as well.
Yeah, but we'll get to that later, a bit later on.
Definitely.
Yeah. Up next, we have Mammoth versus Kraken.
Yep. This was a match. Practically, my notes have practically a write-off match, so sadly to say, and more a question of if Kraken can finally get a win. Mammoth was 1-2 going into this fight, if I'm remembering right, wasn't it, Mac?
Yes. I think.
Kraken, unfortunately, no wins at all this season. It's had a rough go of things, although it did have a pretty good showing against Beta. Yeah, I feel really bad for the Kraken team. They always have such poor luck over the last few years. And unfortunately, that was a trend that was not going to change in this fight. They started out very aggressively, coming at Mammoth, and at first I thought that they were possibly going to pull this off. But unfortunately, the drive issues with Kraken reared their ugly head again, and unfortunately, the weapon motor died as well, and they were left in a position where they were hardly able to self-right. And Mammoth, landing some big uppercuts with its big spinning weapon, corralled Kraken all across the arena, got it into an unfortunate position, and yeah. Shout out to Mammoth for keeping such strong control in this, but it was pretty academic in the end, and Mammoth ended up taking away the W in this one.
Yeah, I think Kraken's big issue is, it's too glidey at the moment. It feels it looks like it's driving on ice, all the time. It's and especially, with the type of weapon they're using, that's not a good, combo.
Yeah, it's one of the unfortunate things, really. Honestly, I really hope they do get to come back next year, but I don't know if after going 0-4 all season, and Kraken's reputation for losing all season like it had the previous one, I honestly don't know if they'll be allowed to return at this point. And that would absolutely suck, because I love the Kraken team. They're one of my favorite teams. And I love Kraken as a robot as well. But yeah, it's just unfortunate at this point.
I feel like if Captain Shredrator can keep getting in, Kraken at least has some sort of a chance of getting back in.
Remember, dude, Shredrator does have a long-standing pedigree.
I mean, true, that's true as well.
That's Central days.
Yeah, but
and even now they can still get something nowadays. Remember, they beat Tombstone the previous season.
I mean, yeah, true. I don't know. I think it's just
that was such a dark horse victory. But
it was I still don't understand how they managed to pull it off, but I don't know. I think it depends on if they can see the potential in Kraken, or if they just sort of write them off at this point. I'm still hoping they get in. I still think they're gonna get in at least one more time, but it would be a do or die thing,
Yeah, I feel you. Mammoth now sitting at 2-2. Would you say that they will sneak into the tournament?
I hope not. Because honestly, I don't know.
If they
like,
do, it will be expensive of some of the really entertaining 1 and 3s, for example.
yeah, like
Because Mammoth hasn't exactly had a great year.
yeah, oh yeah,
And
like,
I wouldn't want... I know Mammoth's been around a while and they've had some good runs, but I wouldn't want to see them get in at the expense of a robot like Fusion or Emulsifier or something like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Like, if they do get in, it's gonna be like at the like they're gonna be at like 34 or whatever the fuck. Like they're gonna be at the very bottom.
32.
32,
Remember,
32.
it's
32.
around the 32.
Look, like number. Look, no, they're gonna be 34. They're not gonna make it in. So say I. But yeah, like they'll be at the very bottom.
Yeah, with that we come to Glitch versus Valkyrie. A very rough season for both teams and a rough fight for us. We had a minute of nothing in this fight as drive issues abound. Glitch was getting stuck on various bits on the floor with its Omni wheels. It's been a cursed season for Glitch, and things haven't been much better for Valkyrie either.
It has not. Like Valkyrie used to be a good robot. And reasonably it still is.
Yeah, it's realistically Valkyrie is still a good machine. The new driver, Lucy Do, I think her name is.
Yep.
She's been a little bit hesitant throughout the season. I feel like she's still getting dialed in as the new driver, and I think Valkyrie will perform much stronger if it gets to come back next season. But it's been a bit of a back and forth for Valkyrie throughout this season.
Yeah.
After about a minute of very little going on, we got one big, and I mean big, hit. That have you ever seen an egg beater split in two, Mac?
No. No, I have not.
Because that's exactly what happened to Glitch's weapon. It was literally split diagonally clean in two.
It was an incredible hit. Like, it sparked absolutely everywhere. Like, as you can see in this image, like, I mean, you can't see it because I haven't shown you it, but the fans can see it. Unless they're not watching the actual video. Because I do not know how podcasts work.
It was like a bomb went off.
Basically, yeah. Like, because like pretty much everyone was asleep at that point, and then suddenly they woke up because of how good that hit was.
Exactly. But yeah, that big hit aside, the fight was largely a letdown. Valkyrie ends up walking away with the win in all of this. Not a very enthusiastic win, however. And, well, I don't think that Valkyrie should get into the tournament, if I'm being totally honest. This is not at the expense of some of the other machines.
Nah.
And Glitch is definitely not getting in. Glitch? More like missing, no?
You have wanted to make that joke for weeks now.
I really have.
We actually had to cut this joke out of a previous episode because Zach realized, like, this would have been better for, like, the last fight of Glitch's season. Like, straight up.
Exactly. I guess you could say also the missing no is any number in the win column.
Okay, yeah. God, yeah, you managed to get double with that. That's actually brilliant.
Yeah, boy. 2 for 2, which is more
yeah.
than we can say about Glitch.
Hey! Oh, God, let's keep going.
I don't want to be mean. I like Glitch. I loved seeing how they performed last year, but oh man, it's been a rough season.
Zach, no, I literally set it up. You were meant to say, well, they're not going to continue.
Well,
because they're out. Well. Anyway, so yeah, that fight happened. Yeah, I hope Glitch improves.
Yeah, Glitch is apparently going to be coming back next year with a 4-wheel drive setup rather than the Omni wheels, and I hope that they can get things dialed in. But I think after this season, they're going to have to make a hell of a case for themselves because all they had this season was their pedigree from the last season.
Yeah, because they literally didn't change the robot from last season, didn't they? Or like it was very minor changes, like if I remember right.
Yeah, and looking back, its success last season came largely because, like, it was still having drive issues and glitching out at various points. Its success largely came from opponents running into its weapon at just the wrong time.
Yeah, it was literally like because people have been saying, "Oh, yeah, Ripperoni. Oh, yeah, they're winning by luck." But like, Glitz is literally the definition of winning by luck. Like, Glitz has been.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but you're not wrong there.
Yeah, like Glitz. Every single fight Glitz has won has either been like dumb luck or like just perfect, like being in the perfect place at the perfect time. And like, they're not really mutually exclusive, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I feel you. So, yeah, this is a fight where I don't think either team should get into the final tournament, but I guess we'll see. Valkyrie does have pedigree and everything, but I don't feel its performance this season has been strong enough to justify it getting in over certain other machines.
Absolutely not.
With that, though, we come to the main event of the evening. The mega-hyped Riptide versus Black Dragon. The unkillable Black Dragon versus the unstoppable murderous power of Riptide.
Yep. Jack, who did you want to win this fight?
Well, it's pretty obvious I wanted Black Dragon to win the fight. You wanted Black Dragon to win the fight as well.
We all wanted Black Dragon to win this fight. But then Riptide.
Yeah. Okay, so they really went all out with playing up the villainous angle for Riptide going into this fight, which included a pre-fight interview with Ethan Kurtz gloating about how the Captain Shredderator team hadn't even tried to properly put their machine back together. That must have been filmed like shortly after the actual Captain Shredderator fight and everything, because the difference in Ethan's demeanor at this point versus after this fight is staggering.
Oh,
we'll come to that later. The best way to describe this fight, Mac, it was a murder.
It was. So Black Dragon tried to get around Riptide, like sort of hoping for Riptide to like sort of flip up onto its like side slightly, because like that was pretty much the strategy. Like, wait for that to happen and then get under them. But unfortunately, Riptide's weapon was too large to get around, and yeah, it became a beatdown from there.
Yeah, as they attempted to get around from them, Riptide managed to hit them broadside, send them flying up into the air, and just did not let up. Kept hitting it for the next, 20 seconds until it was just completely and totally dead. And they really highlighted the how Black Dragon had never been KO'd up to this point. It was one fight off of tying Bite Force's record in that regard. So Riptide just, completely splattered them. Interestingly, as Riptide backs off at the end of its onslaught, you can actually hear the teammates. I don't know if this is manipulative editing on Battlebots' part, but you can hear some of the team members on Team Riptide saying, "Hit him again," and Ethan doesn't this time. Now, apparently this is because the Battlebots production team and a number of different builders allegedly approached Ethan after the fight with Captain Shredderator and warned him, if you pull any shit like that again, your team is going to be banned from the competition. This is disputed on Reddit by a team member, it should be said.
Right.
We don't know which team member it is. Some people say it's Sid, some people say it's Ethan himself. But we're not going to get into the scuttlebutt of that here because, we can't really say for certain.
Yeah.
After the fight, to Ethan's credit, he actually did way better in the post-fight interview this time, where he came off a lot less smug and a lot more humble, or at the very least not massively unsportsmanlike like he did in the Shredderator fight. And honestly, if not for the stuff that I had been hearing after the fact, like what I'd been reading on Reddit from, again, the Team Riptide account, if not for that, I would be much more lenient with Ethan than before. I'm hoping that this is a sign of his improvement, but at the same time,
it's hard to tell.
We've seen some nasty stuff with the Riptide team in recent times anyway, off screen and on the internet and everything. So who knows?
Yeah.
In any case, props to Ethan for giving a much, much better interview than before and coming off much more likable outside of his initial "Let's go!"
He still yelled though. They're like a goddamn hyena. Like a dirty stinking hyena.
Like, honestly, I know that he's excited, but god damn, that makes my ears bleed when he does that.
It does. Like, he needs to tone it down. Like, doing, like, a victory cry is fine, but, like, please don't blow out the fucking mic.
Yeah, but, you know, credit where it's due. At least they didn't defile Black Dragon's corpse this time. Ethan got a much more likable post-fight promo. He made some good points about a number of, about, you know, his team's overall improvements since last season. I wouldn't give Riptide the first seed. That's going to be whoever wins next week's main event. But I definitely see Riptide getting them. Yeah, Riptide is definitely getting the second seed.
Yeah.
And credit where it's due. Riptide, even if I really do not like the team, Riptide as a robot is a fucking monster.
It is incredible. Like,
because, like, seriously, 24 fights Black Dragon has gone without getting knocked out. Riptide did it in like 20 seconds.
Yep. Fucking hell. Like, I want to hate it, but I can't. I can't hate the robot. This is literally a definition of don't hate the player, hate the game. Reverse that even. Or is that... Wait.
Hate the man behind the machine, not the machine itself.
There we go. There we go. That's what I'm looking for.
Like, hate Liquid Snake, don't hate Metal Gear Rex.
Exactly. Okay, also, like, after, with this, before the fight actually happened, we had a video package for next week's main event.
That's right, Mac. It's the rematch of the century, the ultra-controversial fight from last season. Witch Doctor versus Minotaur will finally be addressed as we get to see them go one-on-one for, let's face it, the top spot in the tournament. Both machines have been absolutely unstoppable so far, and I cannot wait to see that particular fight. In fact, the entire card next week looks top to bottom great. There is going to be a lot of really cool matches on there.
Oh yeah, let's run this card down quickly. We have Lucky versus Cobalt. That should be a fucking interesting match.
Yeah, it's I'm really sorry, Lucky.
What, so he's gonna win?
Oh, Mac.
What?
You sweet summer child.
What?
I guess we're going to have to wait and see just how unlucky they are.
Look, the only unluckiness that's gonna happen is Cobalt's gonna break the entire box when it flips around after being flipped. Blip versus Fancy! It's the Battle of the Bees!
Yep, Battle of the Flippers. I cannot wait to see Banshee go flying.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh god, like,
you might say that team is going to be wailing after that fight.
No, we had Triton this episode.
Listen here.
And we had Kraken this episode as well. Monsoon versus Death Roll. This is that's actually gonna be a fucking awesome fight.
Yeah, dude, that's a monster of a fight on paper.
Like, I could see this being a one-hit fight, but it could also be a massive, like, drag-out slugfest.
Absolutely. I mean, both machines are incredibly tough, have massively powerful weaponry. Both of them are getting into the tournament, let's be real, and they both deserve it, and I cannot wait to see how they both do, and this is going to be epic.
It is. Another big fight, Tantrum versus Whiplash.
Yeah, oh man, think about that. It's the champion up against a long-time perennial contender for the Giant Nut that's not even the main event of the episode.
God, actually, yeah, that's middle of the card. Fucking hell. Like, that's gonna be an incredible fight. Hijinks versus Switchback, the cooldown match.
And then, of course, we have the rookies match. Slamo, the veteran, long-time veterans, going up against Double Tap, seeing if Double Tap can can double tap its score up to 2-0.
Oh, it's possible, but Slamo, we love Slamo.
Yes, we do. And we love the team. Shout out to the Dambies.
Yep. And finally, of course, the main event with Minotaur versus.
I feel I should have. I do feel a little bit guilty for just completely glossing over hijinks versus Switchback there.
I mean,
it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. And we do love the hijinks team here.
I mean, look, there's a chance it could like be a dark horse match.
It could be a sleeper hit.
We'll see. Exactly. But yeah, Minotaur versus Witch Doctor, that's gonna be amazing. Like, I hope that's the fight we hope it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah. Like we said, rematch of the century. And, like, they said that before of Minotaur versus Blacksmith, and that fight didn't disappoint. So.
True. And then after that, we have the bracket reveal. We're gonna find out who's where, and we're gonna talk about it.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be awesome.
God,
we still don't know how we're going to totally address that on the episode, like if we'll do an in-depth breakdown of all the fights, but
we'll do it on the fly. Like we never have anything planned for any discussion, so we're just gonna do it on the fly and just see how it goes.
Yeah. That being said, we did actually properly decide on the awards before the episode this time rather than on the fly like last time, so...
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we didn't have a lot of time beforehand last time, so... Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. With that, we come to the awards segment of the week. Mac, do you want to take it away on the awards?
Yes, so I think we should begin with a double header for this one. Best Loser and Best Driving.
Best Loser and Best Driving.
Yes, and that is...
yes, in this case...
Yep, you go.
Yeah, in this case, Best Loser, by default, more than anything else, although that isn't to take anything away from the team, actually goes to Bloodsport for managing to finish its fight with Beta without being in complete pieces, like pretty much every other fight on this episode did.
Exactly. And of course, the best driver is Beta, for absolutely controlling that fight the entire way through, and just absolutely dominating.
That was a 3-0. That was a 3-0 fight in terms of control.
Absolutely.
And the relentless aggression of John Reed, not giving Bloodsport an inch. It was amazing. That being said, honorable mention to Riptide in regards to best driver for, absolutely flattening Black Dragon right out of the gate, and we know how brilliantly driven Black Dragon is on the ordinary course of things. So, well done to Ethan for that.
Yeah.
This is actually the first of 3 awards that Ethan gets this particular week. The second one being the Spike Dudley Award for his post-fight interview, where he managed to not come off as an absolutely insufferable prick this time. Of course, like I said, some of the stuff that's come out since this episode aired has been kind of damning a little bit before, like in the previous Riptide fight. But, for in the moment, well done, Ethan. You get yourself a nice little Spike Dudley Award for coming out as the underdog in not having everybody hating your guts based off of your interview this time.
I hope that continues, because he does seem like a decent fellow. He's just surrounded by people who seem insufferable.
Yeah, this is the thing. I do feel bad for Ethan. I feel like Ethan may have some enablement issues, I guess.
Possibly.
Like he's being led by the wrong people.
Yeah. But then again, we also don't personally.
Yeah, but we've heard enough about things to have an idea of it. Anyway, let's not get into that.
Yeah.
With that, also, KO of the week goes to Riptide for its absolute dismantlement of the unkillable Black Dragon.
Of course, there's no way. That was the only KO didn't so as well. Every other one was just a decision or just bullshit.
But does Riptide get fight of the night?
No.
No, it does not.
No.
Fight of the night actually does go to another absolute dismantlement, though. The incredibly entertaining Huge versus Starchild opener fight. As we saw Starchild get its ass kicked all over the arena, but refuse to die and just keep on fighting until the bitter end. It was an amazing display and massively entertaining.
It was very, very fun to watch. Like, and I do feel bad for Starchild's team. Like, God, they, even in a brutal defeat, they entertained us. So great work for both guys.
To be fair, if this is going to be your last fight of the season, you do kind of want to go out in pieces.
I mean, yeah, true.
Like, obviously, nobody wants to see their robot destroyed, but if you're going to go out, you kind of don't want to be bringing home an entirely functioning robot.
Yeah, exactly.
But then again, this is coming from somebody who's never successfully managed to finish building a robot. Yeah, anyway.
I mean, what if your window?
That's on permanent hiatus right now, so...
Yeah, look, you'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. And of course, honorable mention on Fight of the Night goes to Beta versus Bloodsport.
Yep. God, incredible. Beep, 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 beep. So we got some breaking news. I was I was literally about to fucking start editing the episode, and Jack gave me some news, a little bit of news here. Jack, tell us what's happening.
Okay, so following on from our pre-recorded material, more drama has emerged in relation to Riptide and their behavior / etiquette behind the scenes. Now, we alluded earlier on that there were some comments on the Battlebots Reddit by a member of the Riptide team. It might be Sid, it might allegedly be Ethan, nobody knows for sure. But we'll now read out the comment thread and the specific response. So, the comment from the Riptide team member: no one, production, or other teams raised any issues with us about the shred fight at filming. We just moved on and fought as usual. Shrug emoji. We've been friends with the Black Dragon team since last season when we were pit neighbors with them and have a ton of respect for them. TV is TV though, believe what makes you happy. And this prompted a response from Brian Nave of the Captain Shredderator team.
Ooh.
And I quote, "The biggest lie of all time. Just wait, I have a nice video to post after your next fight if Battlebots production doesn't show it."
That's fucking interesting!
Yeah, what this could mean, the implications are something else right now. What do you want to speculate it is, Mac?
Like, honestly, it could be anything. It could be, like, their behavior, like, in whatever in the first fight of, like, the tournament. It could be, like, how they react to losing if they lose. This is
what I think. This is what I think it could be. Okay, so somebody has speculated that this could have something to do with alleged tip speed limit or weight violations as well.
Huh?
But as you said, this could be them actively taunting the Captain Shredderator team behind the scenes, as we have heard is possibly the case.
Oh.
Although we don't know for absolutely certain, but there's a reason that all of the builders seem to dislike the Riptide team, despite the Riptide team's assertions otherwise. Or, as you said, this could be that Riptide ends up losing its next fight, and the team collectively blows a gasket about it.
Fuck.
In which case, that would be very, very interesting to see.
That would actively be the fucking straw that breaks the camel's back, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And of course, this all depends on if the Battlebots production team shows it, of course. We'll have to wait and see if we get to see it on the actual episode itself, or we may have to, again, record an additional addendum in the future when Brian Nave has released the footage if the Battlebots production team don't show it on the show.
Because if it's...
But the fact that it's
I'm imagining it's a backstage thing then, because, like, it could be that they lose and, like, just have a massive fucking tantrum backstage. Well,
that it's an if as well, so we don't know for certain if we'll get to see it. That casts some things in an interesting light.
It's very interesting. Like, this is the juiciest fucking shit I've seen all year.
So if this has anything to do with the previous Shredderator matter, so like we said, it could just be more stuff to do with the Captain Shredderator drama. I wonder if this could be a situation where Riptide again unnecessarily destroys another machine that they're up against, one of the lower seeded machines. In which case, that would pretty much almost certainly spell their doom forever being allowed back to Battlebots no matter the outcome of the tournament.
Pretty much, actually, yeah. Like, because one time was bad enough. Like, if they do it a second time, especially in the tournament, like, there's like nothing they can do to like stop stop getting blacklisted, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, goddamn. I really need this to happen. Like, no, I don't need this to happen. I need to see what the fuck happens now.
Well, this is the thing. I did hear in like a clip of the Waiachi team members. Apparently, Jake, I think it was Jake anyway, consoled Ethan about something at some point. So it might have something to do with a loss. It might have something to do with the way that Ethan has been presenting himself. But, But apparently somebody had to like actively ask for somebody to like console Ethan.
Yeah, he's like he went to his car, like was just sort of sobbing in the car or something. It was what the fuck?
Oh, it was I think it was something like over Skype or FaceTime.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know all the details, but I guess we'll find out in the future.
Yeah, like very interesting things. Gonna have to wait like 2 weeks, maybe like two or 3 weeks. Like how many? Yeah, like up to 3 weeks, like to find out what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, that's correct, because let's see. Do they show all of the round of 32 fights in one episode?
No, like it's split across 2 episodes. I'm pretty sure.
Because then we've got to get to the round of 16, then the round of 8, then the quarterfinals.
Yeah, because like the round of 8 is the quarterfinals. Yeah,
my bad. So the round of 32, then the round of 16, then the quarterfinals, then the semifinals, and then the actual finals.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see, and then it could be up to 3 weeks before we find out what this is. But oh boy, this is gonna be an interesting time to be a fan.
It is. And now back to your regularly scheduled off-topic stuff. Goodbye. And yeah, that is it for this episode. Jack, do you have anything you would like to talk about?
Something that we were going to talk about last week but completely forgot about for some reason. The Super Mario movie has finally released, and well, frankly, I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too. It was a great movie. Like,
it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, like they put a lot of effort into like the entire world building of like just old references, like older, just the setup. I guess it was excellent.
Yeah, this isn't high art or anything, but if you're a Mario fan, it's an absolute treat to watch. There's so much entertaining stuff in there. It's so many shout-outs to classic Mario stuff as well. Let's see, Anya Taylor-Joy, I thought did a pretty damn good job as Peach. I loved Charlie Day as Luigi. Jack Black absolutely killed it as Bowser, as we all knew that he would. Chris Pratt
existed.
Oh, and Seth Rogen was really good as Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Crazy Kong sucked.
The weakest part of the movie, in my opinion, amongst the heavy hitters of the main cast, definitely Chris Pratt, who did what we all kind of expected him to do and phoned in his performance.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't terrible.
Unfortunate. Yeah, but you could still tell that he wasn't really trying.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope if they do a sequel, I hope he doesn't come back.
It's like I've said before in regards to this. Pratt made it out like getting to play Mario was a dream come true for him, but he didn't really even try, and so that really bugs me, because this is like, Mario may not be high art, but if you're getting to voice like the most iconic video game character ever, put in some fucking effort.
At least try. You know? At least try to stomp some Koopas.
Yeah, it's like the issue was never that that Mario just sounds like Chris Pratt in this. It's not that he doesn't sound like he did in the game. It's that the actual voice acting was just shoddy.
He's not a good voice
That was the
actor.
issue.
Like, he only knows how to play Chris Pratt characters.
Yeah, and even then, it's like he's barely even making an effort.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
So yeah,
he puts enough effort in where, like, they don't fucking fire him, but, like, come on, like, a little bit more. Cause, like, you couldn't,
yeah.
cause wasn't, like, the original voice of Mario was, like, in it, right?
He was, yes. He had a cameo in the pizzeria at the start.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the film. I thought it was a lot of fun,
Oh.
and yeah,
Very
I would
light,
recommend it.
absolutely. Like, very light on plot, like, actual plot, but, like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's a fun kids movie. Like, it's
Exactly.
entertaining. I was sports entertained. Did you end up
With that-
watching? Did you end up watching Dungeons and Dragons as well?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have not seen that yet.
I recommend watching it. It's really good. Like, I had
I'll
a
get around to
blast watching
eventually,
it.
I'm sure.
But yeah.
I'll get around to it eventually, I'm sure. I've not really been in a position to be able to go and see movies lately.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, with that, we come to the end of the episode. Mac, do we have anything else that we need to talk about?
Not off the top of my head. Like, yeah, no, not this week.
Alright, fair enough. With that, we look forward to seeing you all next week, everybody, as we get to ring in the tournament and get to see the rematch of the century. Until next time, he's Mac, I'm Jack. Take care. Goodbye!
Goodbye.